Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. How's everybody doing on this fantastic Tuesday morning? We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and some other things to trade potentially this morning. We got a few things going on. Bitcoin broke down below daily support. We did get a closure under that level. We're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about what we can look for moving on. Also, Euro USD is about to hit parity for the first time in 20 years. Pretty cool thing. I've never seen it hit parity since I've been trading, so it'd be nice to see it if it does do it. And plus, it'd be nice for the dollar to be more expensive than the euro for once. All right, so let's get this ball rolling. Let me get everything situated over here. Good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. A lot of good mornings. Thank God I unloaded my euro spot liquidity a few weeks back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this to me, I haven't seen any news at all. Like there's not another firm like 3AC crashing or liquidating all their funds or nothing like that. I don't see any kind of news. The only thing that one could say about this, this move that we're seeing lower is just it's a dollar story. I mean, the dollar is just smoking to the upside. I was actually looking for that move that we seen last week to be some sort of like a liquidity run. But if you remember, I also said that if you take out last week's high, then that's not what you got going on there. And we have clearly taken out last week's high. We actually took out last week's high at the very early into the open of this week. So, I mean, yeah, this looks something like something else. People are just piling into the dollar. I guess that's the safe haven for this bear market. But it is going to come to an end soon. Tomorrow we have CPI. That's basically what I've been waiting on for over a month to see if we get a lower print. There is a higher print expected. Last month we had 8.6. This month they're expecting 8.8. So this move up could just be the market pricing in a higher inflation print. And if that is the case, then, we're prepared to see new lows on Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it's just the way it works. I think the markets are going to continue on the trend that they're on right now until inflation starts to change its trend. As long as it's trending up, I assume the dollar is going to do the same. Been looking at a few other things this morning, not a lot going on. I mean, this is just a one-sided move. There really is no entry given on something like this. I'd say probably this section over here would have been the only decent shot at taking a bullish entry if you were, looking for bullish entries. But other than that, since we've been moving up, there's really been nothing. Plus, I mean, you're so extended to the upside. I mean, you're at levels unseen since September 30th, 2002. So once again, 20 years we haven't seen stuff like this. All right, so let's go back over here to Bitcoin. I guess I'm going to have to do something with Pepsters. I don't know why he's in the house this morning. I just seen him pop in. All right. So here we go. This is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. We closed under weekly resistance. There's weekly resistance. We did not want to see that happen. I wanted to see Bitcoin close above that level, as that's what we got on the CME last week. So the CME closed above its weekly res. So, I mean, since the spot market doesn't, all that means is that there is a gap on the CME chart. It's as simple as that. That's literally all it means. You can see the gap here. So from this close to the open, and boom, down. So CME is getting ready to come into a weekly support level, and that level is going to be 19,315. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Mr. Pepe comes in one way and goes out the other. All right, so where was I? All right, oh yeah, CME futures tagging weekly support or getting ready to tag weekly support. So here's the thing. I kind of like to see Bitcoin sell off before the news, get everybody extremely bearish again, right before the news comes out. If we get a miss, which would be good news, a lower print, that would be a miss on expectations, then we could look for support, right? Maybe not on the day that it occurs, but maybe the day after the news. So, like, what I'm saying is, if we get a lower print on CPI, then if we see more bearishness out of the market, I will be looking to buy Bitcoin. I will be looking for a support level to watch, to buy it near the end of the day, just to see if maybe this is just a false move. A lower print, in my opinion, would cause a lot more buying to come into the market. We do know that we have seen the big dogs. These are addresses with 10,000 Bitcoin and higher in their wallets. They were buying as we were consolidating over here. And since the move lower has happened, you can see that they have been adding to their portfolio. So it wasn't until when we put in that wick to the downside, that's when we started to see this metric pull back a little bit. So does that mean that, they bought all the way down and now they're selling at a loss? It's possible, right? I mean, right now there's not many people that are sitting in profit in Bitcoin, except for the people obviously that bought much lower, 2021 levels. And if that's you, then I think you're still fine. I'm adding to my spot portfolio, and I am still trading this as well. I did take a long position on it last night at around the daily support. Let me go over here and grab it. Let me get off this chart. Might help. There we go. All right, so daily time frame here. This was the daily support level that I was watching. And as you can see, yesterday we closed below. So when I took the trade, because I have a little bit more of a riskier appetite. Plus, I've made a lot of money since we've been down here. So, I mean, I could afford to take, a loss if I want. But I told people, instead of going ahead and getting along with me right here, right now, the smart thing to do would be to wait and see if you get, or a smarter thing, a less aggressive thing, I should say. It's not necessarily smarter, just less aggressive, would be to wait for the daily close. If you get a daily close above the support, then you can look to get long by buying the support, right? But we closed below. So when you close below support, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Now, is this going to be a trap? The only way we'll know if this move lower was a trap is if you take out yesterday's high. And that's a pretty big move. You're going to miss it if that occurs. It does not look like this is a trap. You are making lower lows on the day, right? If I bring up the monthly, go back to the open, you're going to see just how, we got a tag of it once we broke below it. So here's the break below, came right back up, tagged the monthly open, and you're seeing downside continuation. This is also the London session open. So is this potentially the high on the day? It is, right? It is potentially going to be the high. So I expect a lot of sideways or choppy price action for today and early into tomorrow until 8:30. Once we get that news print, then you're going to probably see a lot of crazy volatility. I would love to see a lower print on CPI, but like I said, expectations is higher. So if expectations are higher, what do? Well, you continue to trade this thing the way that I've been telling you to trade it. You're in a longer term range. When you are in a range, you buy supports, you sell resistance. And in this case, the two support and resistance levels are $22,562 being resistance, support $18,948 here. So until you get a daily close below or a daily close above, these levels are intact. And look how beautiful it traded. Straight down to daily support. We hung around daily support for 4 days. So you had 4 days to get long, and then you had to move up to the upper edge of the range. So, range bound trading. That was where profits were taken, obviously, and where new short side entries were put on. Boom, down. So, be on the safe side. Wait for 18,948, 89. It looks like that's where it's heading. You will have a support zone ahead of that, and that will be this area here. So $19,224 is the next daily support to potentially look for that acting as support. And it is also very, very close to weekly support. Very, very close. So since it's so very, very close, you can either watch weekly support or that daily support. I wouldn't put two lines here as it just gets confusing and will make your charts look a little bit hectic. You got two supports real close together, so just watch whichever one you want, daily or weekly. I tend to watch the daily because, dailies is the time frame that I'm typically watching for entries, looking for daily range expansions. So I like to watch the daily time frame. But if you stop ahead of the daily time frame, where the first entry was, which was on this pullback candle here, then if you stop, anywhere up here, you could potentially trade back up to resistance, and that's 21,000. So just sideways trading, trade it like that. Don't look for any continuation. Just simply take positions, looking for the range to continue. And if you hear any news of another massive crypto exchange or something like Three Arrows Capital starts to shit the bed again, well, then you're going to see new lows, right? Because they hold a lot of Bitcoin. They have to. In order for you to trade on their platform, they must have a balance sheet with Bitcoin on it. And, if they're going to go under, then you're going to see more downside. Now, we did hear some rumors that KuCoin and a few others were the next to be the ones on the chopping block. I don't think you have to worry about it right now unless we start seeing more downside. KuCoin has not said anything as far as, the rumors are true, we're insolvent, which I don't think they will. But, if they need a loan, I don't even know where you could get that information. It'd be nice to see what's on their balance sheet, how much debt do they hold. That's what destroyed Three Arrows, was too much debt. So that's not good, guys. It's never good, especially when you're losing money. Debt sucks. More good mornings. Let's see, did we hit parity on Euro yet? Come on, baby. Yes, we hit parity. This 5-minute candle's low is, we didn't quite hit parity. 1/1000th of a cent. What is that? No, it's 1/10,000th of a cent. 1.00001. So damn near hit parity. Let's see if we hit it on Oanda. We did hit parity on Oanda, exactly to the cent. $1 even. Look at that. First time in 20 years. Nice. Now, will it stop here? You know that a lot of people were putting orders down here. Retail's trying to pick a bottom on this thing. Let's go ahead and get a sentiment gauge. Bright screen incoming. All right, so sentiment, Euro USD, 74% of clients are long. 74% of IG's clients. IG is another brokerage or exchange if you're not familiar here in America, but I think they have exchanges all over the world. But anyways, 74% of their customers have net long positions on Euro USD today. All right, that's what's awesome about this is this metric changes daily. And as of right now, 74% of retail is long, trying to pick a bottom, all right? And that's what continues trends pretty much. When people try to pick bottoms, they get stopped out. And they've probably been stopped out many times this week. So best thing to do is wait for an obvious support to be formed, then look to take long positions, and then you'll know if you're wrong when you get stopped out, right? But trying to pick a bottom, why not, I guess, if you're like that, if you're that risky, $1 would be a good spot to look, obviously. And you just tagged it. All right, but like I said, probably sideways today, guys. We got big news coming in tomorrow. And if what's being expected does get hit, then the down move has been essentially priced in already. You know what I mean? This week, you had a lot of downside. So watch weekly support, daily support on Bitcoin. I think those are going to be decent areas to look for bullish entries. to figure out why it's turning around right where it is now. One could only imagine that it has something to do with this July 3rd candle's high, because that's where you're kind of trading at now. So if we go over here and see what we got going on, I've already looked for a support level, intraday support, and there's really none. I mean, this was intraday support, but once you lose it, then you have to kind of look at it like that. But I mean, we could kind of get an idea. That's that. Let's go check the 2 hour. It's also 2 hour support, and 4 hours, so 8 hour support. No, that's not 8 hour support. That's the daily. So 1 hour, 2 hour, just 1 hour, 2 hour support. We'll see what happens, but I'm not liking it, right? I don't like it under daily support. I don't like it at all. And this is the new daily support down there. So what I would potentially do is probably just wait to see if we do indeed get back above $20,153. If you do, that might be a good chance to look for a buying opportunity. But here's the thing. Now that you've broken down below it, closed below it, now you've seen continuation. If you get it pushed back up to this level, it's going to look like a retest to get short. We did lose the 21 exponential moving average, which we discussed that, Sunday morning during the members only live stream. We lost this on this day, and you can see what's happened since. You've just gotten more downside continuation. So once again, the 50 spot on the RSI held price, and it was the top of the range, right? You got daily, there's the resistance up there, but there's also supply right there. And you haven't gotten a close above that. So it just looks like it's range-bound trading. Ding, 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 ding. And that's how we're going to trade it moving forward. All right, so let's see here. USD JPY, just insane move to the upside. I was short this, like I said, trying to pick a bottom last week. I took a short position on Friday. That position was stopped out yesterday. Just straight to the upside this thing has been. Nice close above resistance as well. I love to see closes like that, because it's almost like a confirmed legit breakout when you close above the midpoint of the breakout candle. If you do come down here and take out this candle's low, however, that will look very, very attractive for new short side entries. And if that were to occur in the next day or two, I will still be watching 136 spot and 593 for that short entry. Boom, down. Like most anything that's trading against the dollar right now, it's just extended, massively extended. And Wes brought up yesterday the fact that, we were looking to trade this. We were absolutely trying to get positioned. Once we broke out down here, this thing essentially traded sideways for so freaking long that when we got the breakout there, we were looking for price to come back in and check support. And that's pretty much where we were looking, 104 spot 187. And as you can see, you didn't never get the test. But if a person would have been able to put on some long USD JPY right there, in advance of the bear market, would have been one of the best trades of the century. I mean, look at that freaking thing. Massive move to the upside. This is forex, so $1 move is a massive move. This thing has moved up $32, not just one. Nice. All right. Good mornings. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, Pepe. I don't know if he was hungry or if he's just messing with me. He likes to do that. All right. So moving back over here to Bitcoin. Let's see if we're getting anything new on open interest. Let me see here. Just bear with me. Uno momento, por favor. See what open interest looks like. We're starting to climb. Open interest has bottomed out, it looks like, and is starting to climb higher. Now, this doesn't look right to me, but the numbers sound right to me. $9.6 billion of open interest. That sounds right. When we broke down up here, we was sitting at about 14, then we dropped down to 9 almost instantly, where we've basically been holding and starting to climb a little bit. So I would like to see open interest climb as the market pushes lower. Absolutely. Just like when open interest is climbing and the market is climbing, that can sometimes, not always, but sometimes, indicate a pretty decent sized turn in the market. So if price is trending lower as the open interest is going higher, that could signify that we might be getting ready to see a pretty decent turnaround back to the upside. Now, obviously, I'm not uber bullish down here because we are in a bear market, but I am bullish down here. I am looking for a relief rally. I am looking for July's low to be in, but we're back below the open now, so it's not looking great. My position is under threat of being stopped out. So marking this low down here, 18,755. If you get a new low, then it's going to look more and more like that was an opportunity to get short at the July high. All right. So this month is you're almost halfway into the month. You always got August to look to catch a low or a high in August. Sideways price action, everything. Trade it like what it is, and what it is range bound. All right, let me do this real quick, and then we will get a going here. If I can get it to play. If you're depositing and withdrawing crypto from a wallet, Bitget has no KYC. Also, something that is fantastic, the fees are half that of Binance. If you're an active trader like I am, this is huge. Cannot even stress how important that is for intraday traders. They have rewards and coupons for up to $4,000, but the most amazing thing that I've seen while backtesting the charts, no scam wicks. If you compare Bitget with that of Binance or Kraken or any other exchange for that matter, you're going to see what I mean. Just look at this ugly thing. 20% move to the downside. And on Bitget, 3.9%. Same candle. Another thing I love is they have the inverse swap contract, so you can trade Bitcoin with Bitcoin. They also have copy trading. Just follow your favorite trader, and maybe soon you will be able to follow me. Lastly, if you're learning how to trade, they have a demo account for both margin and swap futures. So if you're going to be a trader, you might as well be using the best exchange for active traders. Use the link down in the description and be sure to use referral code XTSC. That's X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie. Come join me and others and move over to Bitget. Out of the seemingly never-ending sponsorship deals I get, I did a bit of research and decided to partner with them. You should too. New sponsor. Show them some love. Click the link. Click the link. All right, let's answer some questions if we have any. Edward says, I'm thinking that's Edward. It's spelled differently than we do it here in America, but BTC is dumping. It's having a bit of a pullback, no doubt about it, but I would not consider this a dump at all. It's a methodical selling event, right? This is, these types of moves are the kinds of moves that provide opportunity. If you're looking for shorts, you want to do it at swing highs, right? And it's been pretty methodical. Nice, slow move to the downside. Just like it was a decently slow move back to the upside. Well, the last couple days you had a pretty decent spike to the upside, but yeah, methodical. This is why I like the fact that I am looking for support still, because if it was dumping, you would see massive candles, big candle after big candle after big candle. That's dumping. This is more or less just taking profits with new short positions being entered. You can see it in the chart. It's beautiful. People got long here. Price moves up to the top of the range. You take profits at the top of the range. So did everybody else. This is also, if I remember, daily supply. Right there it is, daily supply. Look how that hourly reacted to it. Fantastic. I mean, 4 hours trading right at daily supply. Then you get the bearish reaction. Next time you tag it, boom, right? And now you've seen it come down. So it's profit taking. People are trading the range. Just like we did, everybody can do the same thing. Sell the highs, buy the lows. I like to be usually I would be on the sell side, because you're in a massive downtrend, bear market, and there's nothing on the macro that suggests anything is going to change. So typically when we're doing something like that, I like to sell the top, or, sell into resistance. So instead of trying to pick a bottom and getting long down here at support, what I generally will do is I'll wait for the top end of the range, and then that's where I get short. So I have been selling most of the swing highs in this move lower. The reason that I'm trying to get long instead of short is because of a few metrics. The open interest is building. You got, let's go look at something else. I don't remember if I talked about this on Saturday's upload or not, but we'll take a look at this. This is your open interest put to call ratio. What's a put to call ratio? Essentially, the white line is price action. The orange line is your puts. So typically, when you want to sell into resistance in a downtrend, you would also like to see the puts going higher, right? Because that implies that people are buying puts. The only time people buy puts is unless they're doing some other strategy, but typically in a trending environment, when you see a lot of puts being added, it typically means that people are protecting their downside risk. They're protecting their spot position by buying puts. Puts are insurance, if you will. Since we are at the lows, it's normal to see the puts go lower. What this means is people are selling their puts, right? They're taking profits, which is fantastic. That's typically what you want to see at a low. You combine this, all right? So we know that more puts are being sold than are being bought right now, and have been for the last month. To be honest with you, last month it was doing the exact same thing, right? The put to call ratio was sliding lower. So for the last 2 months, this metric's been going down. And here you can see, it's starting to get more and more parabolic to the downside, which, suggests profit taking. So smart investors, smart traders will protect themselves with options. And since the put to call ratio is heading lower, that only tells me that, maybe a near-term low is in, or price just isn't high enough to risk a downside trade. Either way, puts are not being bought. And then open interest, we just looked at it. You're starting to go higher. You're doing this while price is moving lower. So, just those two metrics right there make it to where I want to look to get long at support instead of selling into resistance, because this could mark a near-term bottom. This could say that, we may have a near-term low in. And if that's the case, the smarter trade is to buy support. Now, we don't know if that's the case yet. We will only be able to look in hindsight and say, yep, that was the low. But the reason you come over here is because you try to pick my brain, see what I'm looking for. I'm looking to trade this as if we have a low. That's what I'm doing. I am trading Bitcoin right now as if the low is in. You do not have to do that. You can absolutely sell resistance. You do not have to get long if you think it's going to $10,000 or $5,000. If you think I'm an idiot, it's okay, right? You're allowed to think I'm an idiot. But I'll tell you one thing right now. I wasn't an idiot up here, so probably not going to be much of an idiot down here either. Will I lose trades down here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably lose 5 more before I'm done, right? But I am adding to my spot account as well. You've got several things going on. CPI tomorrow is going to be a massive, massive indicator for me. 8.6 and lower is what I want to see. But they're predicting it 8.8. So, market participants, CME, everybody is expecting a higher inflation. So I'm absolutely, positively, 100% could be wrong in assuming that this low is the low for a while. I'm just assuming that Bitcoin is going to trade sideways with very small ranges for a very long time until we get a trending CME or CPI number going lower. We need to see inflation trending lower. We don't need just one lower print. We need to see at least 3 consecutive month over month lower prints. That would suggest that inflation has been dealt with, and that in itself would cause a bullish rip in the markets. Not new all-time highs, just a relief rally, if you will. Another indicator that has me thinking that the near-term low is this thing over here. So this is in DTH. Now, what this is it's an indicator essentially. This is not a tradable asset, but what it does is it shows you all the NASDAQ 100 stocks above the 200-day moving average. So when you're trading at parity or up here at the top, all of the stocks are above their 200-day moving average. When you take a spill like this, spill, then that means you're under it. So most stocks are under the 200 right now. But one thing that you can see, this indicator goes all the way back to 2008. It has done a really decent job in calling massive market bottoms, massive swing lows. 2008, market cycle bottom, right? That was the bottom of the SPX. And then every subsequent little tiny bear market thereafter, boom, 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 boom. So have we pretty much called a low? Well, according to the VIX and the VVIX, the answer to that question is no, we have not. All right. But according to this metric, yeah, it's a possibility. Now, there's only 2 times in this indicator's history where it put in a swing low, made a lower high, and then rolled back over. This one, and then '08, or this one, I'm sorry, not that one over there. This one, right? Big move to the downside, come back up, and then you got another expansion lower. And then '08 happened too, right? It happened in '08 as well. So, indicators are just that. They're just indicators. They're not the be-all, end-all of anything. They're not going to predict what price is going to do. But, seeing what we got going on here, I mean, this is the lowest level that we've seen this thing happen. This is lower than the pandemic even, right? This was your pandemic over here. This was 2020, March 2020 pandemic, and we hit lower levels on this. Even though we didn't hit lower levels, because on price, the pandemic, we hit 34% lows. We just barely tagged 20% on this move. So, I mean, it just looks like there's a few things that could suggest that, there's a near-term bottom in, or at least we can trade it like such. We can buy it since we do have a range, we can buy the range lows, sell the range highs. That's pretty much it. Let's go look at the VIX. So the VIX isn't showing us that we have a bear market low in yet. So, you can keep this indicator or this thing on watch. I'm keeping it on watch. If you start to get another expansion, which you are kind of sort of into weekly support, last week you tagged it, this week you're up off of it. So is this a support check and hold? Yeah, it might be. And if it is, then you're going to see Bitcoin and the SPX come off more if this thing starts to climb. But here's the thing. We should have seen the Japanese yen along with the Swiss franc also do the same thing. But those 2 assets did not. Also gold. That's usually a risk-off asset. It did not trade as a risk-off asset. So when your risk-off assets aren't trading like risk-off assets, then obviously that the market participants are doing something different. They're doing something different. Could that affect the VIX and the VVIX? Absolutely it could. The VIX and the VVIX both are tradable assets. You can buy options on this. You can trade this. So it just means that people, instead of buying the VIX or buying VIX calls, they're buying the dollar instead. That's all it signifies. Yes, this thing typically has in the past been an awesome indicator of a bear market low, but this year It is not trading like that. And there's a reason for it. Because people simply aren't using this product. But if it does start to rip, then expect new lows on Bitcoin and the SPX. Just do it. You know what I mean? ETH under the 21 RSI daily just got retested. Yeah, RSI generally cooling off. Fractal looks just like the last consolidation. I don't trust the on-chain stuff so much. You don't have to. You know what I mean? I don't claim to be an on-chain guy myself. The two things that I like most, or these are the things that I like most on Glassnode, right? Those are the things that I like the most. You don't need to be an on-chain analyst to understand open interest and put the calls and all that, right? You don't need to be long liquidations, short liquidations. These metrics that I look at are price action metrics, essentially. All the other stuff, MVR, VZ score, I don't even really care about that too much. I mean, essentially it's just like the RSI, but it just uses a different mathematical formula to come to that conclusion. Right? It's all of these things, all they are indicators. And no indicator can predict the bottom. Something that people are watching is the what was it called? Let me pull this one over here. Let me get rid of the EMAs. The pi cycle bottom. Some people are looking at that. I guess this indicator calls bottoms. I mean, it called this bottom, I guess. That's the only bottom it's ever called. Yeah, I mean, that's on a daily time frame. Maybe on a 4-hour time frame it's called more bottoms. Ooh, it doesn't look like this indicator works on a 4-hour. It looks like it's pegged. It is. It's pegged to the daily. Yeah, this indicator doesn't work on the 4 hours. So it's pegged to the daily. Look at it on the daily. It's getting close. Let's see how it done on the BLX. The BLX just has more data. So that's the bottom. No, it called this low too. Almost freaking identical. Almost perfectly. And that's it. So out of the lows that we do have that were called on the pi cycle indicator, it has a 100% hit rate. 100% hit rate so far. It's called two lows, and those were the lows. And you are getting ready to cross. So, I mean, is this thing going to call another low, or is it going to call the low? I don't know. But it is damn sure getting ready to cross. And I got news for you. You need price to keep going lower for this to happen. Because this calculates itself at every close. So you need at least 2 more red days, I would assume, for that indicator to call a low. And, watch support. So that's what I'm doing. It's just another metric that suggests that there might be a near-term low in. You have oversold region, you hit oversold, and you got all kinds of stuff going on with this indicator, right? On the daily. Here's the weekly. It's the same thing. We hit massive oversold levels on the weekly. This has been in Bitcoin's entire history. Oversold weekly RSI has been one of the best buy signals ever. Oversold there. Ding. That marked the bottom too. Low, low. Oversold there. Oh, would you look at that? It just happens to mark the bottom. And this didn't quite hit oversold, but it come close. Still, bottom. And here we are again. And we hit our oversold levels. They were more oversold than they've ever been in Bitcoin's entire history. We hit the lowest weekly levels on the RSI ever. And the MVR-VZ score says that we're in a buy zone. So, I mean, these are the reasons why I'm buying support instead of selling resistance, guys. Remember, we were selling, we sold the top. We became sellers up here. Now, we're buyers. Do we know that it can go lower? 100% we do. Do we also have a target or another area to watch for potential entries? You damn right we do. And it is yearly resistance right there, $13,863.13. If we get down there, I will buy that too. I will buy that too. So, I mean, you don't have to trust on-chain stuff. Like I said, I don't know much about it myself, but anything that has to do with price action, I will take a look at it, and it gives me that metric. And the reason I like Glassnode for that is because it's got APIs to most of your main exchanges, so the data is pretty safe to look at. So there you go. Heath, with a hog that looks like a weapon. Good day, sir. I don't know what that means. All right. Thank you. Heath, can we please look at Mr. Tesla? Yes. Let's go look at it. Looks like our levels held again. Support held. Yeah, this was last week when we were watching. I think we were down in there. So it did hold, and you did get another spike up into the resistance or the range high. So what's going on with Bitcoin is similar to what's going on with Tesla. Let's get rid of this and just put it here. Boom. All right. Same thing with Tesla as what's going on with Bitcoin. You have put in a near-term low, and you have created a range. So where is a good place to look to become a buyer again on Tesla? Well, 673.42 or 628.16. Daily close under means you got to let it find a low again before you can look to get long. To me, Tesla is still extremely, massively overvalued as far as being a car company. But everything that Tesla does, as in a tech company, they're not overvalued in my opinion. But as a car company, they are massively overvalued. But they have basically paved the way for electric vehicles. I mean, when you think of EV, you think of Tesla. They paved the way. They have probably the best battery tech on earth right now. They're a tech company more so than a car company. So watch for support. Those are the two support levels I would keep an eye on first. And if you close a daily below 628.16, you're probably going to be looking for support lower. And where could that potentially be? Next level, 599.05. Actually, this is the lowest level, so I would just keep an eye on that. 589.74. 589.74. It does look like a bear flag on the weekly for sure. Flagpole, flag. And it's actually, playing out kind of. I mean, weekly res held. You just had to watch weekly res, I guess. But the daily, I like the daily better, when I'm looking at the daily. It's just because the daily can close above the weekly and it still doesn't necessarily mean anything. When the weekly closes above or below the weekly, then you got something going on there. Since we closed below the weekly on Bitcoin, you're seeing continuation to the downside. Is that possible on this? I mean, you opened up here and you're down. So, yeah, watch for support. Obviously, I don't know if it'll hold, but you can watch it. Those are the levels I like. 673, 628, 589. I just lost my place. Son of a gun. What levels are you watching below the current range on BTC? Cheers. I haven't really looked for any other than 13.8. 13.8 is yearly res. That's a level under current price. There's not a whole lot to look at. We have two potential prices that we can watch, being this and this. Boom, boom. So you got 19,166, 18,202. And then you don't have anything on the weekly till 13,863. So essentially, if we lose this lowest weekly close, 18,202, then we'll probably be looking for at least a tag of that candle's low. And then 13,863 was probably on its way, right? So these are the three levels to watch. Is there any daily closes in this region? I'm sure there is. I mean, there's wicks, so this is a weekly time frame. I guarantee it. There's some bearish closes in this. And there is. So those are two weekly levels. Daily support is lower. 1707, then 15, then 14, right? That's all you got to do. And you can get those levels yourself. But those are the levels that I would be looking for. Yep, that's what I'd be looking for. If Bitget had more assets like forex and commodities, that would make a lot of difference. Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys, I partnered with them because I like the things that they offer. And, I get a lot. I get, probably 2 to 3 emails a week, new exchanges I've never even heard of wanting to partner with me. Nobody, I wouldn't mind having, in the forex land, I wouldn't mind having a bigger exchange partner with me, but, I'm not looking for it. Bitget reached out to me. I took a look and I liked everything that they had to offer. And since I've been trading on the platform, I like it. It's, you don't have to typically do it just because I say that I like it. That's on you. But, I like it. And if everything goes to plan, what I have planned coming up in the next few weeks, a lot of things are going to change. We're going to be doing live streams later in the day. A lot of things are going to change inside of the community. I'm probably going to start implementing a few more maybe signals even. I don't know. I'm still working on some things, and but so far it looks good. It looks like everything's going to work out just fine, but we just have to wait and see. It's hard for me to get up this early. I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning when I typically wake up at 6. I would much rather do it, but the thing is, doing later live streams is you're gonna miss it. There'll be more or less trade recaps instead of new trade positions. But things are gonna change. We're gonna be a lot more active in the coming weeks, and it just makes it easier for me. Yeah, everybody's on Bitget or whatnot. You don't have to be. You can still trade on whatever exchange you want. Good morning, Ahmad, my friend. How are you? Danny, good morning. I just went long on Aussie yen. My entries 92.2. Let's go look at Aussie yen. Stop at 92.04. All right. You didn't say whether it was what exchange, but I'll go ahead and look at Oanda, as that is typically the one everybody uses. You can see it was a fantastic move to the downside after coming into descending trend line. You did break and close below support, but the thing is I don't like how it's unable to break down. You should have seen downside continuation, but I mean, you're at daily support, my friend. You're at daily support. 92.02 is your entry. Stop 92.04. So you're essentially just put your stop below this wick low. It's a little bit early in the day to take a long position, because the real volume doesn't start coming in until 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So like an hour and a half from now is when the majority of the FX volume comes in. You've already had the Asian and London session, so the volume for those two sessions is over and done with, but the New York session volume starts coming in around 8. So is it possible that this is going to be the low for a little while, at least, up to resistance? It's possible. It's possible. But there's the 3 a.m. candle. So it looks like your London session has made the high of the day. What's not the high of the day? This candle will mark high of day. So there's the daily high. Asian session comes in, you sell off, you cement into support. Boom, Asian session opens, you get a spike up, instant sell off. So it looks like the order flow today is bearish. You're at daily support though. So it's not like there's no continuation here. So it could go either way, essentially. You're below the 20 on the moving averages, the exponential, you're below it. So to me, that would say look for shorts. However, there's no way in hell I'm getting short at support. And you are under the 50. So I mean, order flow is bearish. Order flow is bearish. But it could hold. Who knows, right? That's the thing about markets. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But I do like the fact that I don't necessarily like the fact that you're trying to pick a bottom, but you're doing it at support. So if you're going to pick a bottom, that's the place to try to pick it, essentially. So I think you're probably going to be fine. Maybe you don't make a new daily high, but you can definitely take profits if you do get a spike, right? So here's intraday resistance. That's where I would take profits. That would be my first primary target. That. Now with the sell side, since order flow has been bearish for a few days and today, you might think about taking profits there even, because that's where people will look to get short. If you do get a spike up into here by or during the New York session, I assume people will look to sell it, to roll it over. But today is the day before a big news event, so you might see nothing but sideways choppiness today as well. But, I mean, not bad. Not bad. At least you're able to identify daily supports, and those are high probable areas to look for trade entries, Danny. Good job. Good morning, Ahmad. Ray, what's up, Ray? 690 current level on currently on Tesla. So he's talking about pre-market. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Heath, could you check out Lucid Motors? Let's go look at them. I think I seen one of these cars on the road the other day, but I had to like do a double take. I didn't know if it was. I don't know if they have any cars on the road, but it was a sharp looking automobile nevertheless, whatever it was. Year to date, it's bearish. But I mean, we all know that. So you didn't really say anything. You just said the ticker. So I'll go ahead and show you resistance. That is your highest daily close inside of this range. And you can see how it has held. You have not gotten a daily close above $20.26. It's going to be the top end of your range. And the bottom end of the range is all the way down there. All the way down there. Is it possible that you find support there instead? Yes, it is. So these are the three levels that are basically shaping up price action right now. I don't think I would do anything on Lucid until you get to down here, daily support. And once you get down here, then you can start to make, some decisions. But right now, I don't think you need to make any. Obviously, if the markets start to turn around and the Fed becomes dovish and all these good things happen, then is it at a price where you maybe become a buyer? Yeah, I mean, maybe, right? They're not trying to compete with Tesla because they're a high-end luxury brand, more or less. So, I mean, there's a few plays for EVs. This is going to be one of the big ones eventually. As long as they are able to produce and maintain. If they can produce and maintain production, stay ahead of the curve, the company's going to do good in the long term. Long term. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. From the all-time high, you are currently sitting roughly at about 71%. So you're 70% off, man. Not bad. If it continues lower, then something else is going on. I like it, though. It's trading similar to Tesla in a range. Tesla's an AI company that sells cars. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, Wes. 61 watching and just how many likes? Please smash the like button. Oh my god, there was 60 people in here? Wow. Nice. Oh, it is 67. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. If you don't mind smashing the like button, hit it. Can you boss? You don't have to call me boss. I'm not boss. I'm just someone trying to help you help you guys look at the right things, not the wrong things. Could you kindly help look at CRV USDT? I really think it has bottom. Jeez, my phone is going bonkers. CRV USDT, you really think the low is in? Let's see. I guess I will look at it on Binance. I'm not going to use that as an all-time high. I'll use the high that we had before the Fed pivot, and you're down 90%. Well, from swing high to swing low, you're down 90%. I mean, it doesn't look like a bear flag anymore. It does look like you have made the first steps of a trend change. You have a low and a higher low and a higher high. So, yeah, I mean, it looks better than it did over here, and it looks better than it did here. Is the low in? I don't know about that. So what can you do with something like this? Well, you can obviously watch the low end of the range, which would be like something like that, but you want to mark obvious swinging points. So this is old daily res right there at 82 or 84 cents. Is that potentially going to be support? It could be, right? I mean, it doesn't always work as beautiful as that, but it would be beautiful if you come down, tag that, and then start moving higher again. So you want to look to buy swing lows since you think the low is in. You're at the top of the range. There really is nothing to go on here. Intraday we go. So you're at old 8-hour res. This is what my suggestion would be, is to wait to see how this today acts with yesterday's close. If you close below yesterday's close, then you're still making fresh lows, and you want to wait until you get a bullish reaction at a support. And it doesn't have to be an old support over here because there isn't any. Right? This is the only support level, even to here. That's where your support is, but there's a big move in that. So you can either look at intraday charts, like 12 or 8-hour candles, and watch the support levels on them, right? So I don't know how familiar you are with the way we trade over here, but it would be something like this. These are the areas of which you will look for support. You won't just buy these levels. You will wait for price to come into the level, and then you will wait to see how it reacts at the level. If you come into the level and you stop, and then you get a next 12-hour session, you get a nice big bullish engulfing or something, then you can wait for a retest of support to get long and look for the expansion. But, I mean, it's making higher highs and higher lows. You're above the 50 on the RSI, well above it. You've actually hit oversold regions again. So that's nice on the daily. That's very nice when you can do that. There's not many assets in the crypto sphere that's even gotten above its 50. This asset has. I don't know what it does. If it's DeFi or any of that stuff, I don't have any clue. But just wait and see what it does. You got a 12-hour Heath level right there. I would probably watch the low or the support of the candle, the close, more so than the open. But it does look like it has a little bit of bullish momentum. So you might just come down, tag that level, and go. But you're in a bear market. The overall crypto market is in a bear market. So just be very careful. Make sure you mitigate risk. You don't want to risk more than just a couple percent on any ordinary trade. Definitely don't. But it looks okay. Welcome to Prop Firm Level 2 Ahmad. Every Sunday, for now, it's Sundays. It might change in the future, but for now, every Sunday at 11 a.m., we do a live stream for members only. You should have access to all of the old ones that I've done in the past. Thank you so much for becoming a member, my friend. Thanks, Heath. You are welcome. Ray says, let's effing go. Just join the Discord official member. Did you join Discord and YouTube, you don't have to do that. You could just join one or the other. They both get you there. Wait a minute. Okay, so if you bought the if you bought the Patreon hedge fund tier, then I will get you in a little bit. I'll get you your link. I'll send it to you via Patreon message. So look on Patreon for the message later today. That's where I send the invites in the Patreon messaging. But thank you. Can you look at link? Yeah. I can only look at maybe one or two more, guys, because it's about time for me to wrap it up. Let's look at link real quick. I didn't realize what time it was. Time flies when you're having fun. It looks okay. It's been trading at the lows a lot longer than Bitcoin has, which is, it's not looking super strong though. You know what I mean? It looks more droopy than anything. And when I say droopy, I mean just that. I mean, if you look at the weeklies, you can see that you've been making lower closes. Right? That was support, then you broke down, closed below. Then this was support until you broke down and closed below. And you're trading under. And last week, even though last week was just a doji, it still closed below the previous week. So it's making lower lows, essentially. Lower supports. So you don't have support is what I'm trying to say. When you keep breaking down, you don't have support yet. Wait for support, right? Wait for an obvious test of support. Then you want to see a bullish reaction. So what that entails is right now, you do kind of have yesterday. You can watch yesterday's close. The main support of the range is going to be here. Right, that's the main range low support. But you can watch yesterday's low. Yesterday's low is $6.08. Oh, $6.03. Sorry, $6.03. So what that will look like intraday is this. What you just seen here. Boom, you tagged yesterday. That's yesterday's close. So right now you kind of do have support. And you did get a bullish reaction, although not the bullish reaction you wanted to see. It's just a small bullish reaction. I want to see something like this. Right? You want to see something like this. So that way when you do pull back in, you can buy at a Heath level or something like that, or at intraday support. So currently it's holding. Currently it's holding. If you're looking to get long today on Link, 603 is the price to do it. An hourly close below that and you scratch it. You leave it alone. An hourly close below that would suggest that you are going lower. It is also intraday support now that you've gotten this. I don't like the fact that you're back down testing it again. It just looks like, if you picture it like a bouncing ball, boom, 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 right? Maybe it breaks, but it's a tradable range. Buy, sell, right? Buy, sell, buy, sell. And you have a wick low down here to manage that risk. Right there. Boom. So a trade setup, you won't have a perfect 2-to-1 setup here though. It would look something like that. Well, it is 2.23 to 1. Basically, you want to take profits at the first resistance you come to because, order flow is droopy, to say the least. So if you were to get long here, that would be profit target. That would be the stop. Probably wait until 8-ish, as that's when the New York session opens. That's when the bulk of the volume comes in, and a lot of assets will start to move then. All right, and US 30, and then I will have to wrap it up. Oh, yeah, and MSTR. So let's go look at the US 30, and then I'll do MSTR, and then I'll bounce. US 30, which one, though? Capital.com, CFD. Yeah, let's look at the CFD, Capital.com. I mean, it looks just like the it looks just like the S&P 500, almost identical, right? I mean, you're in a downtrend year to date. You're bearish. There's your year to date chart. Just steady as she goes to the downside. I wouldn't put a trend line on there, but you could probably get one on the bottom. Maybe. I mean, it's something like that. You've already broken it. Okay, so what you would be doing is right now you're into daily support. There's daily support right there. You're into daily support. So if it's going to hold, then you want to see this thing start to react bullishly here. And you're not really getting that. Ugh. It's a slide lower. So you're probably going to break down. Instead of watching daily support, I would probably watch this if you're looking for longs. If you're looking for shorts, this would be the level to watch. Unfortunately, you're just way too far away. So, I mean, in my opinion, the only way to trade this would be up right now, and I don't like it up right now. It looks like it's trying to break down. But remember, it's a day ahead of the news, so you're probably going to see sideways ugliness today. Tomorrow, you'll probably see something like this, right? Tomorrow, not today. If you do see something like that today, then something's up. And then MSTR, and I got to wrap it up. Mr. MicroStrategy looks like it found the bottom. This is the level where I told you guys to look to become a buyer if you're bullish, right? Weekly support held. Weekly support held. You did not close a weekly below, so that's support, and it's setting in a range now similar to Tesla. It didn't hit range highs though. You're getting a pullback now. Is it possible that it finds support somewhere above 167? It's possible, but I don't like it in the middle of the range. I hate it in the middle of the range. I would much rather just give it time, let it pull back down to this support. Or you could watch, you could watch 172 potentially to see if that acts as a demand zone. But I don't know about liking it today. There's really nothing to go on because that would have been the resistance level right there, and you're below it. You closed below it. So let it keep falling down to here. Or the same thing. It can find support. It can find support anywhere. When it finds support, wait for a bullish day. Wait a whole day, right? That's learning how to be patient is how you're going to become profitable. Let it find support. As of right now, it has support. So what you want to see today is a bullish reaction. You would love to see it take out the bearish day's low because that means anybody that's under there is stuck. Then I would look for a retest of $200 to get long for the continuation. But you gotta let support be formed. I wouldn't do anything with it myself down until it got down to 167 or 146. Those are the two areas I would be a buyer, not up here. All right. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, as always, drop them down in the comment section because I do answer every question every time. All right. I leave no man behind, no woman behind, nobody behind. All right. You guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading. And look in the Patreon messaging, Ahmad. I will give you that link. Have a great day, guys.